Hey everyone, welcome to Toys of Primus, and in today's video I will be opening up this Batmobile from Spin Masters from the latest Batman movie that came out early this year titled The Batman. And this includes a 4-inch Batman figure, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this latest installment of this live-action Batman film. However, as a toy collector, I can admire how cool some of the toys do look, and that's why I did purchase some of the merchandise from this film, such as this Batmobile and some of the DC Multiverse figures. So I did pick up Catwoman, who's fully masked, Batman himself, and another Catwoman, but this one has the movie accurate mask, and this is a gold label edition. So I could tell a quick story about these real fast. So one day I drove to a faraway Walmart that was like an hour away because all of my local Walmarts never really stock all of the new figures that well. And when I decided to drive way out of my way to go to this faraway Walmart, they had just about every new figure you could think of when it comes to like Marvel Legends, He-Man, and even DC Multiverse. The first thing that caught my eye was like this huge display they had in the middle of the aisle, in the middle of the main aisles. And I could post a picture on the screen to show you what that looks like, because I did take a picture that day of that display. It was filled with all of the characters from the latest Batman film and some other DC Multiverse figures that were also brand new at the time. And I ended up picking up this Catwoman, this Batman, and I picked up another Batman, but it was from the Frost King Build-A-Figure wave. He has like the winter coat on with the goggles. I also had some Marvel Legends in my hands, like the symbiote Spider-Man and Hobgoblin, and I forgot what else I picked up, but I had an arm full of action figures just walking up to the registers. It was kind of embarrassing because I did not expect to just see a bunch of new action figures out on the pegs or even a display full of this stuff. So yeah, so pretty much these were like the first two Batman or recent Batman movie figures I picked up from DC Multiverse. And then a few weeks ago, I needed to get some gardening supplies, and I drove to Walmart. I went to the gardening section, but instead of going for the gardening stuff first, I went straight for the toy aisle first before I picked up the gardening stuff, and I saw this gold label Catwoman hanging off the pegs, and it was the only one. And she had like the film accurate mask, which is an odd choice because now there's a total of 3 different DC Multiverse Catwomans out there. There's this one, the fully masked one. There is a variant where she has the mask lifted up over her face, resting just above her forehead. So her face is revealed, but she still has the mask resting on her head. And now there's the movie accurate mask, which I guess is a Walmart exclusive. But yeah, I found it and I was like, good. I wanted that one for, I guess, the longest time. But yeah, these are like the only figures that caught my eye. Did not really care for Riddler's design or Penguin's design. I was like, I get what they're going for, but it's really not my taste. This Batmobile toy did look cool. There is also a 12-inch version, or a much bigger version to fit 12-inch figures, I think. And I've seen people fit figures from the DC Multiverse line in that bigger Batmobile, which I've only seen sold on Amazon, by the way. But anyways, I picked up the Spin Master one, which only stores 4-inch figures, and this has lights and sounds if you push on the back engine here. So I will demonstrate that right now. That's pretty cool. You can see the lights inside the hood and the front headlights there. Also the back, the flames. I think the flames light up too. No? There's a back brake light. But I think one of these flames, and there goes more sounds. Yikes. But yes, as mentioned on the box, if I could, there we go, focus on that. It has 15 plus sounds. I'm assuming one of these flames do light up at some point. But turning to the back, also has sounds when you move the vehicle along the flat surface. And the doors do open, so you can store action figures inside there. Alright, so let's go ahead, open this up, and start, playing around with it and comparing it with other vehicles that I brought out here for this video. Okay, so first of all, the figure they have shown on the back of the box in that pose, that is false advertisement because his head cannot move up that far, and due to the engineering of the figure, you can't really get him in the same type of position that's portrayed on the back of the box. That's the best I can get it. So here's the 4-inch Batman figure of Robert Pattinson, I believe, is the latest actor to play Batman. And when I messed around with the articulation, I noticed he has articulation in the shoulders, the elbows, the leg and knees, and in the head. But you can't, it's not really like on a ball joint, so you can't, yeah, I'm trying and it feels like I'm gonna break it. So I don't know what they have shown there on the back of the box in that position. Is kind of weird. I feel like that's kind of false advertising. Anyways, so here's the 4-inch Batman figure, and here's the cape, which feels really cheap. Feels incredibly cheap, and I noticed it's kind of like separated on the sides. Like they couldn't, they couldn't have glued it more onto the figure or attach it some way. So I might end up gluing down the sides because that kind of worries me. But yeah, it feels super cheap. So let's go over the articulation again. Show you that his head does turn left and right. Not really up and down. I mean, look like it kind of. I mean, look. Like tiny movements on whatever joint that head is on. Alright, so going into the rest of the articulation, the arms can go forward and back, like so. Out and in, both sides. Moving down to the elbow joint, they do rotate. So you can rotate it and kind of bend it, but not much. I mean, on mine, they kind of bend that much, or that far. Can't really bend it all the way. So, yikes. Unless I have something... No. Yeah, they only kind of bend that far. Wow. No waist articulation. Now, I don't know if all of the 4-inch Spin Master DC figures are like this with the articulation, because I do collect them, but I have not opened any of them. I kept all of them inside the box. So this is sort of like my first time messing around with a 4-inch DC Spin Masters action figure. And I can see how much limitation they have with the articulation here. Like the legs don't even go back all the way. Wow. But they can go forward, which makes sense because you want him sitting down in the Batmobile, right? And going down to the knees. Get my camera to focus on their knees there. Yeah, so you can rotate the bottom leg portion and bend the knees, but on this figure, they only bend about that much. So, sorry, the camera keeps going out of focus. There we go. So, yikes. So, very limited amount on Batman here. But I guess the main attraction is really the Batmobile. So, nice detail on this particular vehicle. Very cool. The wheels, if you're wondering, they are made of rubber. Yeah, all 4 tires have rubber wheels. And I think I should probably mention this if my camera stops going out of focus. Alright, so there is the battery compartment there. It takes 3 AA batteries, which are already included. But in case you're wondering where they go, it's in the bottom. And there is a switch. Right now the switch is in the off position, which is in the middle. If you switch it to the left, it goes into on position. If you switch it to the right, it goes into try me, or try me mode, sorry. Did I say position? Yeah, so there's on mode, off mode, and try me mode, right? So when I looked on the bottom, it was in try me mode for, you know, the people who want to try it out in the stores. Right now I turn it in off mode because I didn't want it to make too much noise, but right now I'm going to turn it into on mode. All right. The lights turn on. And yeah, see in the back there, let me turn off one of these lights. You can see that back flame effect is lighting up, which is pretty cool. Really nice. I wish there was more lights on the inside that, you know, lit up the inside of it. And as mentioned on the box, it does make sounds when you roll the vehicle across a flat surface. Alright, I'm going to turn back on the lights. There we go. Get some more illumination here so you guys can see everything. I'm going to need some more space too, so I might move that box out the way. There we go. So, let's see. The doors open up pretty wide on both sides. There you go. There's 2 seats, so you could put 2 4-inch figures in there, which is really nice. And we could put Batman in there, get him in a seated position. And let's see. There we go. Easy peasy. You're going to have to like mess around with the cape. Either have him sit on his cape or just cram the rest of the cape in there like that. Alright, and have him hold on to the steering wheel. So there's Batman sitting down in there. That's what it looks like. It's not the bestly seated figure, but you guys get the idea. And shut the door. Now he's ready to take off. Pretty cool. And as I demonstrated earlier, it has the button right here on the back engine part that makes more lights and sounds, so oh, that's a really nice sound. Guys, cool, like revving up sound. Alright, get my camera to focus on Batman in there. I think that's all the sounds I went through, right? Just about. So, wait, what if I do this? No? Yeah, sort of. I thought I was going to make sort of like a burnout or skidding out type of sound when I did that. But yeah, that's all there is to this Batmobile toy from Spin Masters from the latest The Batman film. Gotta put the in there. So to prevent this from making any more sounds, I'm gonna put this back into off mode. Okay. Not gonna have that going on for the rest of the video, but let's see, can I have like this hanging outside the window like that? So yeah, you can have that hanging outside the car window, but I like to have it all inside the vehicle like that. There we go. The Batman. So to compare this with other vehicles I have in my toy collection, here's another one, well, Batmobile variant from Spin Masters, I believe. No, I think this one was from Mattel at the time. Yeah, back when Mattel was doing DC figures. I think, personally, in my personal opinion, this is what the Batmobile should have looked like in the movie. I mean, obviously, without without all of that silly stuff on it, of course, but yes, it should look more like this. And this has a compartment which you lift up for 6-inch figures. So anything 6-inch or under can fit in there. It might be a little bit too small for 7-inch DC Multiverse figures. And for the size comparison, obviously the Mattel one is much larger because it's made for larger figures. And oh, by the way, maybe I should measure this in case you guys are wondering how big is the Spin Masters Batmobile figure. It's about 12.5 inches long. There you go. Alright. And let's see, should I bring another vehicle out here? Let's compare it with the Ecto one from the Ghostbusters 2021 toy line. That was made for younger kids, but it was sold alongside the Ghostbusters Afterlife toys that I think Hasbro was putting out. There we go. And well, it looks like the Ecto one is much bigger. What if I put it on the other side there? Yeah, that makes sense because I think the Ecto one I have here is made for 5-inch figures. So anything 5 or under can fit in that Ecto one. So there you go. Just showing off some comparisons with some other vehicles in my toy collection. But I still say, this is what the Batmobile should have looked like. But I get it. It's supposed to be like year 2 Batman or something. And it might look something more like this in future movies. Or if they decide to just reboot Batman again. I think I'm a little bit burnt out on live action Batman movies. Because I grew up on Batman since the Adam West days. And I enjoyed the Tim Burton Batman films. And yeah, I watched the other ones that came out after that. Like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and then there was no Batman movies for a long time. And then we got the Dark Knight trilogy, which I really enjoyed a lot. I think I enjoyed Batman Begins and The Dark Knight the most. And then they decided to just give the role of Batman to another actor. We got Ben Affleck for the Justice League movies, which I thought he was not a bad Batman. I thought he was alright. I really was hoping he would get his solo Batman film, because I heard stories that he was going to get a solo Batman film where he goes up against Deathstroke, and I thought that would have been really cool, but that never happened, and unfortunately we got another reboot, so I'm kind of burnt out on Batman reboots. Like I love Batman, but jeez, can they not stay consistent with just, I don't know, one actor for a few years, just like Marvel stayed consistent with Iron Man by having Robert Downey Jr. play, you know, that character for a few years, but whatever, I get it. Just a mini rant. Alright, so there you have it. That is my review for the Batmobile from Spin Masters. That's made for the smaller 4-inch Spin Master figures. It's pretty cool. I think when I got this, it was about 20 or 30 bucks. I think it was like 30. Yeah, 30 bucks. I feel like it should have been at least maybe 25 bucks for this. But, you know, it makes lights and sounds. The doors do open. You can put figures inside of it. It comes with a Batman figure, even though it feels, well, it looks cheaply made because of the limited articulation, the cheaply made cape on it, which I might have to do some gluing to that. And there's some slight false advertisement with the way this figure is posed on the back of the box. So I'll show you that again. I'll have to do it at an angle. So yeah, look at that, how he's on the hood of the car, and you can't really get him in that pose. I tried. It's just kind of impossible. But whatever. I mean, I don't think young kids are going to really care about that too much. For adult collectors, well, I'm pretty sure they have other Batman figures that they can put in those kind of poses, and probably can put, you know, with this Batmobile. So do I like this particular Batmobile toy? I would say yes. It's pretty cool looking. I mean, that's why I bought it in the first place. I'm sort of a huge fan of Batmobile toys. I mean, I have this one. I have 2 different tumblers from the Dark Knight trilogy. I also have the giant Batmobile tank thing that was from the Justice League film. It was from the it was from the previous DC Multiverse line when Mattel was making them, and that thing was like gigantic, which I never opened up. I just kept it inside the box. So yeah, I'm sort of a huge fan of Batmobile toys, and that's why I purchased this one from the Batman, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the recent film, but I am a fan of toy collecting. And I can admire sometimes how cool sometimes a toy look. And if it looks cool enough for me to buy, then, I will obviously buy it. Alright, that's my review. And, do I think it's worth it? Sure, I definitely think it's worth it. Especially if you're a huge fan of the film. But, or if you're just a huge fan of various types of vehicles, toyetic vehicles, then yeah, this one is a cool one to pick up for sure. Alright, so next video I plan to do a video on a Voltron toy that I had for quite some time now, and a Jurassic World Dominion toy haul, because I've been wanting to get to that and I've not gotten a chance to do a video on that yet, and there will be reviews coming from that as well, so stick around for those videos later this week. I will try to get up the video for Voltron probably the same day as this Batman video, but yeah, stay tuned for more videos to come. Alright, stay awesome and happy collecting.